It's time for the Uncommon Wealth bonus content.
Hello, everybody. We are recording a bonus episode for the Uncommon Wealth Partners.
Mike
Bartos.
Like this guy. Even more.
Holy cow. Okay, first off, Aaron did such a good job getting him on the podcast. He's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Kind of a big deal. And I just loved hearing your enthusiasm through it because I was like, dude, this is like...
So I'm geeking out.
You're living your best life over here, which I love. So... Mike, thanks for being on the show.
Yeah,
that was fun for me to watch Aaron get so excited about that. And then also, too, just talking about his deadlifts and his lifting. And, like, he's no small guy.
He's a big dude.
Beast mode.
Yeah.
So that was fun to kind of just hear that. But I would also say just his thought process. Like, something that hit me really hard is the thank you notes. He's still, to this day, $18 or $8,000. You heard it.
Yeah.
We'll still write you a thank you note.
I know. I was shocked when mine came in the mail. I was like, oh my gosh, this guy, because if you're not a meathead, like a full blown meathead, it's hard to like fully fathom how big of a deal that he's done.
Yeah.
And what he's accomplished so far. And he's still young, so there's still so much further to go.
Right.
So, and the fact that he wrote me a card, I was like, oh my gosh.
You know, like, I wish some of our podcasts could go 2 hours long.
Yeah.
If I would have had a 2 hour long podcast, which like a Joe Rogan, I'd ask him, like, where do you think that came from? Like, was that from your parents?
Yeah.
We never really even talked to him about his mentors, but I mean, that's pretty good parents. If he's still writing thank you notes.
Right?
Yes.
I have so many more questions for him. Like,
I'm sorry. I cut it off.
No, it wasn't that. Like, I mean, it's good for you because I'm going to ask questions that probably 90% of our listeners don't care about. But it was a good one. I'm like, just to see how genuine he was.
He really was. So I love the phases. He talked about phases of a business owner and how you first start. Candidly, it's a lot harder. So I love the advice that he gives other people, not to not start a business, but I just want you to be honest, eyes wide open. Here's what you're getting yourself into. And I think that's wise because the last thing you want to do is like, you know, be preaching cupcakes and candy bars, and then they get hit broadsided with what a business is actually and how hard it is and the sacrifices that you have to make.
Yep.
But early on, he talked about the sacrifice both him and his wife had to make.
Yes.
And I thought that was fascinating how unified they were to write a check on their wedding night. Get out of here.
I know. That's man.
So cool.
And then the fact that they wrote that big of a check, gave it to his dad to put it in the mail.
And then went on a honeymoon.
Yeah. How do you not sweat it on the honeymoon?
How do you stay present in your honeymoon through that? That's why I said at the end, like, take your wife on another honeymoon. He's like, well, we're going out to eat dinner. That sounds good.
Yeah. Man, that's... I know. That was one of the... We got off on topic and I didn't get... I forgot. I was going to be like, how much were you sweating that? Because I would have... And just... The maturity of that he has and trust that he has in his dad. Not that, I mean, it's a check. No one can do anything wrong. But like, it's you saved for so long. 95%
of your net worth.
Yes.
That's what it was. So you can now step into that position, you as a listener.
Yeah.
95% of your net worth, you write a check, give it to somebody else and go on a plane.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
I want to be the one putting that thing in the mailbox.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And then I'm watching my bank account like, when's that coming out? When's that coming out?
It's so good.
So,
yeah, I liked how he basically started it by thinking, okay, what do I need for my current athletes? What would benefit them the most?
Yeah.
And then let's just create it. And then you can tell, like, that's not really what his intention was when he started the business. He just wanted to train, athletes.
Yeah.
But then it slowly started becoming that. And yet he still adapted it and overcame. And he even said it, like, I have a very, compulsive personality or like all or nothing. You could see that because you take something that you don't know anything about and then you start creating and inventing things for other people to then purchase.
Yes.
Because it's one thing to be like, I'm doing it for myself, for my athletes, but then having other people then take the product and use it without you being there, like, that's not how you're supposed to use it, or like, you're going to break it.
Yeah.
It's only I'm maybe pushing off my insecurities to other people. But anyway, I love that he was doing that, and it just kept evolving. Like, we just did the steel. What's it called?
Stone of Steel.
Stone of Steel first, and then we kind of adapted, and then
it just grew from there.
Sorry I had to put you on the spot, but I know that you like really like his stuff.
No, I like his stuff.
And the reason why you like this stuff is because it's really actually helpful. You're not just liking it because it's part of a brand. You're actually like, this is actually helpful for what I want to do. And it's so like, it's perfect for what he's doing. So
Yeah, I
good
mean,
job, Mike.
the stuff that he's making, like, because you've heard his numbers, he's a big guy. If you see him, because if you watch it on YouTube, like, you can see, like, his arms are like pythons. So when he's making something, it's not
he's
cheap.
He's not doing it just for fun.
Like, I mean, this is going to withstand somebody that's just in high school and starting out, and it's going to withstand you being a world-class strength athlete.
Yes. And I like that he was still volunteering as like a strength coach at the local high school. I thought that was a neat perspective on the personality of who he is. And then we talked about just being the first generational, like going to the junkyard in order to pay the bills the next day. Like that, there's something about character that's being built when you have to go to that level. And yet you're still dedicated enough to then continue going on. Yeah. So that's why it's super fun for you and I to see success at this point, because not only has he sacrificed, his wife has sacrificed as well. So and we're in it, because now then you're still writing thank you notes. You'd think like, hey, I'm going to hire somebody else to hire that. Not for Mike. Not for Mike.
I mean, that guy, so he appreciates it and he knows it. And like, that's why I think it's so cool, because I know, again, this is probably not completely true, but sometimes us meatheads get a bad rap. You know, like, oh, you're dumb. But like, the guy's so intelligent, and then look at his EQ, just in the sense of like understanding everything, never getting away from like that appreciation of what people are doing for him to be able to keep building.
Yeah, and I would say that Mike, although has a compulsive personality, has put his effort into powerlifting, weightlifting first, saw success. Then he went into training, put his time and effort and energy into that, saw success. Then he started a business. And I could tell that it wasn't really about the money. It was more about the grind and like the process of becoming something that's bigger or hitting those phases, quote unquote. It wasn't like and I like this point. And I was like, hey, if no business owner says it's not about the money, it is, because it's obviously a measure on the scoreboard and we all have bills to pay.
Yep.
You know, and then the more income, I guess, money monetarily that we get, the more we can impact other people. Yeah. But the people like Mike who continue to get more and more success, but yet still focus on the basics of writing thank you notes is the key to an uncommon path. Yes. So, dude, good on you. That was a good uncommon.
That was awesome. I loved his, what would he say? This is not a journey but it's an adventure.
Oh, yeah.
That quote.
It's not a trip. It's not an adventure.
Yes. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is like pinpoint, because it is like, it's an adventure. And an adventure, you're going to have scary moments.
Yes. There's a risk involved.
Yeah. There's tears are probably going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, like he's talking about picking up pop cans and stuff to like eat, you know, to make this thing happen. So,
dude, I love it.
Yeah.
So good. Mike, dude, great job. Thank you. Anything that we can do at Uncommon Wealth Partners to help you, we'd be all about it.
Oh my gosh, every day. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep buying your stuff.
And you know, Aaron's going to keep buying your stuff. So we're big fans. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being on the show. Mike, we wish you and your family a huge future. Yes. And we hope your business continues to thrive. But here's the deal. I kind of know the future in this one. You're going to be fine.
Yeah, he's going to kill it.
Yep. See you, man. Thanks for listening. Thanks for our listeners to listen or for listening. We hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any questions for us or, you know, even your own Uncommon Path, we'd love to be able to be a part of that. Tune in, get to our website, uncommonwealth.com, and then sign up for a 15-minute call. We'd love to hear what's going on.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.